Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Patreon-only podcast. Patreon exclusive?
Yeah.
Patreon only. I don't know.
Yeah.
Patrons only.
Patreon exclusive.
Patreon exclusive podcast. I'm not going to introduce myself because you know I am, because you're paying money to watch this. We're going to call this feature the Drip Tray.
Nice.
Because I think we had a thing with the Drip Tray, didn't we? Farm Trip. We wanted to call that little area that we're working in the Drip Tray.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of like the offcut of the festival.
Yeah, I think we called it the hot box in the end.
The hot box.
Yeah.
Nice. Because it was very hot in there.
And it was a box.
Yeah, so this is going to be nice. And actually, for those of you who are very astute and watching, you'll see that we have a special guest with us. Only he's not that special of a guest because he's been here all along.
I have, behind the cameras.
He's always been here. He's always been behind the camera.
It's like The Shining.
Hello,
always been here.
Luke.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
How's
Thank you
it
very much
going?
for having me on.
Yeah, man. Well, we thought it would be nice to do something obviously a bit different for the Patreon podcast because how do we go any further than what we're already doing? And I think what might be quite nice is to hear more from the team because obviously predominantly it is me and Paul that do this, but there are extra people that join at the time who can help elevate our production value and stuff. But Luke is actually probably the...
Standard.
Yeah, he's kind of there. He's the third member, really, of Planet Beer TV. So it's nice to actually have him in front of camera.
Yeah. Feels strange. Feels very like, rare, real, Paul, mythical, almost, Like you never see Jamie from Joe Rogan and he's been an urban legend.
That's very much you, urban legend.
I'm a bit concerned, Luke, that you're taking over already.
That's it.
If I'm honest with you.
That's it. I'm off. Boot me off. Oh, dear.
We didn't agree to this. You've got off script.
Paul, what are we going to do tonight? What have we decided to do for this?
Because people clearly don't hear enough about us and us talking about us, we thought we'd get Luke to ask questions to us so we can talk more about us.
Okay.
But the concept behind this is Luke's gone off because you've got a bit of a background as this kind of, I wouldn't say investigative journalist, but certainly an interviewer, right?
Yeah, that's right.
This is we'll interview you back after this, I think, as well.
Okay.
But you do this stuff professionally, or you have done this stuff professionally. So you've gone away, you prepared a bunch of questions.
Yep.
With which we don't know anything about at the moment, so probably to embarrass us or just to shine a light on our lack of knowledge, I should imagine.
Yeah, no doubt. He'll have thrown some zingers in there. I think the idea was with this is originally we were thinking that it might end up being, once the Patreon community is a thing, that we could actually do Q&As with the community.
Yeah.
But obviously because we haven't necessarily launched it yet.
No, we should do that.
We're like, oh, who's going to ask us questions?
Damn, we found a flaw.
So Luke, welcome aboard.
Yes,
very
mate.
much.
Thank you.
We're going to find out more about your story as we do more of these. I'm not going to make you sit and go through your background because, like Paul says, you've got a very interesting background. But let's drip feed it
And
out.
he's not allowed to talk about a lot of it.
Yeah, let's bleed you out over many episodes. Yeah. There's a dipper going on here. Dilson from Sure Shot.
Have you saved any for Luke? Yes,
I've saved some for Luke. Yes. That is fast approaching its best before.
Oh no, yeah, you just found this in the fridge, didn't you? And you
My
panicked.
fridge. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! I didn't drink Dilson. Dilson.
It's good beer, old Dilson. Anyway, all right. Should we get into this?
Let's do it, gents. Let's do it.
Let's do. You lead the show, Luke.
So I wanted to kick off by asking you about. I've drank craft beer for a number of years, but I would never, by any stretch, be comfortable, doing what you guys have done, starting a podcast, talking about beer the way you do, with like an air of like confidence. Really, talking about beer, and
it's an air of confidence.
An air of confidence.
But it's not warranted.
No, it's you're confident when you talk about beer, and you can communicate really well. Like what you like about certain styles of beer and all that. But I think for people kind of just getting into craft beer and perhaps they're picking up cans off the supermarket shelves and whatnot, they don't have that confidence. They don't really. They say they like craft beer, but they don't really know how to communicate what they like about it. So how did you get that confidence?
The alcohol helps.
Yeah. I mean, there is that, and I think there's just the ruthless repetition of it. The more that you do something, you just feel like you kind of know what you're talking about. The more that you say it.
Yeah, and personally, I part-owned a bottle shop for a couple of years, and
you are actually qualified as well. You've got your level 1 Cicerone.
Yeah, but I forgot all about that. Yeah, but level 1 is just that's just serving. It's the basics, but they essentially call it the server level. But because I had a bottle shop, you kind of had to know what you were talking about a little bit. So I mean, when we opened that shop, we didn't really know much other than we really liked certain breweries. We liked certain styles. We were forced to learn on the job a lot.
Yeah.
And you learn on the job by talking to breweries and distributors and drinking a lot of beers, and you get to sample a lot of stuff. And you just, you gain confidence because you're having to talk with confidence to your customers.
Yeah.
Didn't you originally have a thing with Hall, your bottle shop, where initially you only wanted to really sell stuff that you actually like and actually think is worth it?
Yeah.
And then you find, oh shit, that doesn't necessarily mean it sells.
I mean, the fact that we closed is becoming less of a mystery, if I'm honest with you. Our business acumen probably wasn't up to speed. It was more philosophical and moralistic. More than
shooting from the hip and just going with vibes.
Yeah,
as we'd say in 2024/5.
Right.
It turns out good vibes don't pay business rates. But
but I suppose that would have given you an air of authority because you know what you like. You're selling what you love. So
it's a weird thing. Yeah, I think if you love something, that doesn't sound like some kind of massive drunk either, but probably the same with you a little bit. When you first fell in love with beer, it would have been on holiday, or it would have been going to a different country. For me, it was definitely Belgium.
Yeah.
Off the back of that, you kind of pick up, but going back to Belgium constantly, as a place I love, you get to get engrossed in culture, and people there know what they're talking about, and they, every bar person you go into understands beer and how it should be drank and the different qualities and the styles and all that good stuff. You pick up on that and you go back, and just by osmosis of being in these places, you learn, and then you want to know more. So when you get involved in the modern craft beer scene, the baselines still apply. It's still beer, but then you got to learn about how the breweries brew their beer, how the styles come into fruition, how they sit in the UK marketplace or the European marketplace or the American marketplace, the audience, how they sell, all this good stuff, how it relates to traditional cask as well. So it becomes this whole tapestry of stuff, and you just get into it because it's fun.
Yeah,
This isn't dry, boring stuff. This is like you're sitting with your mates half the time, just getting a bit pissed.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, it's not ever really meant to be. It doesn't necessarily need to always be factually correct.
Yeah,
because it's not about that. It's not about checking each other's homework and going, you haven't really described that beer right. And I think this is the other thing. I'm gonna lift the lid on it and say, a lot of the time I still feel like I don't really know what I'm
constantly.
Like I don't really know what I'm saying. Like so much of the time you end up saying things because you've either read something about the beer already and the brewery's already described it to you, so it's already put that in your head.
Yeah.
What should I be tasting? Or you know that via the hops, if you know your hops well, then you'll know what you need to kind of be picking up from it. But ultimately, other people out there really know what a papaya smells like. Right, in just Middle England out there, I don't know. What's the difference between papaya and mango? I'm sure if you got those squash fruits out in front of me, I'd be able to maybe pour over it a little bit more. But when I'm initially trying a beer that's got those components or that kind of thing about it, you're just going to say one of them because it's a familiar taste. What I might be thinking is papaya might actually be factually mango.
Right.
I say factually as in like agreed by pretty much everyone else. That's what they think a mango tastes like. But to me, I'm just saying, oh no, it's a papaya.
Well, thanks, Lou. That was good.
Thank you very much, James.
Yeah, man. So how was your first experience?
It's been great. It's been strange to be in front of camera, but
He's too professional.
We should drop a little bit about your background here. That you've got a journalistic background.
Yeah.
And you used to work for the local paper.
oh yes,
Yeah. So how does this fare compared to that?
This is nice. This is good. This is better than dealing with.
What was the worst job you've ever worked on?
Oh,
You know what?
Blimey.
Let's interview you.
There you go. We've got 5 minutes. Let's interview you.
Worst job.
Worst job you've ever worked on as a local news journalist.
I once almost got saved by the police from getting a right good hiding. I was threatened with a good hiding from this guy who was comedically small. He's smaller than me. I'm 5'5". He's smaller than me.
Was he like the Wildstone Raider? You've got
Yes.
no fans.
Pretty much.
Like that
But
kinda-
he was on steroids, so he was just this big, juiced
Oh.
turkey-looking guy.
He was a triangle.
He wasn't trying to finger a prostitute in London, was he?
He wasn't. No, he
that's
wasn't. And what it is, there was this fire at this nail salon, and
Oh, yeah.
it was bizarre.
What it was, right.
So I had to go down naturally as a reporter, be on the scene and report like what's going on, what's this fire all about. So I was there just talking to the fireman because you build up a rapport with like the fireman and there's I can't remember the name of the guy you speak to. It's like crew commander or something like that. You go and find him. You say, mate, what's going on? And then I'll be out your hair. You get the details and then you go back. Well, I was talking to the fireman, talking to the crew commander, and this big little geezer comes waddling over and he goes, "Boy, mate, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Blah blah blah. I'll knock you out." And I was trying not to laugh, to be honest, because he was just so small and so not intimidating. And then this policeman just walked over, grabbed him by his collar, like in the cartoons, and just ripped him down the road. It was hilarious, but it was very, very strange. And I think actually it came out in the end that the fire was an insurance job. Hence why he was so angry that I was there.
Oh, nice.
I mean, that's
You
not going to
rumbled
help
him.
his case, is it, really?
No.
Yeah.
So he didn't want me there snooping around, basically. But
This is a good little feature. We're going to do this next time that we do it. We'll ask another story on Luke's undercover journalism. It wasn't undercover.
plenty of it might as well have been.
Plain clothes, though.
Yeah. Plenty of good
You
stories.
weren't wearing a journalist uniform.
What I'd love is if every story involves that guy in some capacity. He just keeps turning up going, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Scrappy Doo. That's what he looked like. Scrappy Doo. Oh dear. Funny times. Yeah.
What? Yeah, a fire in a nail polish factory.
Yeah. Nail salon.
Nail
or
salon.
something,
Oh,
yeah.
nails. Sorry, if
I think they just burnt it down to get the insurance money, but
classic.
They're doing that a lot with pubs these days. So
Yes, unfortunately.
Um,
But yeah, I will say reporting around the West Midlands, especially the Black Country, was some of the best times and worst times of my life. So
that's
can't
a
wait to
nice
share more.
a nice balance. Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. Dig out your stories.
Yeah.
Dig out your shorthand notes. Maybe you can
yeah.
get your shorthand notes, and maybe we'll just throw them in there as a Patreon exclusive.
That's
Luke's
it.
shorthand notes.
Yeah.
And if you know shorthand, then you can decode it.
Yeah.
And we can also call the bloke who keeps turning up shorthand.
Oh,
Yeah.
That can be his name.
Yeah. Perfect.
Because my mum could write shorthand because she used to be a secretary back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Or something. And I was like, what the fuck's this? Is like Chinese or
It looks
something.
like Arabic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. But yeah, she used to write in it, and I was like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
And you say you know to do that?
Yeah. I've still got it today. Probably not as fast because when you learn, you basically have to get. I think it's like 100 words per minute. Some people get 120, so it's quite fast.
Fucking hell.
You do a test, and you have to seriously, you have to pass it. But
You know what we'll do next time? We'll say something and you just need to like shorthand it. So basically me and Paul will just have a quick conversation and then you need to shorthand it.
And we'll get a camera,
we'll compare. Yeah, we'll get the camera on it because that's interesting. I've always been intrigued to see it in action.
Yeah, we should do a beer review
In shorthand.
in shorthand. Yeah.
Let's do it. Put my skills to the test.
Sounds good.
That
Well,
was fun.
thanks very much, guys, for being patrons, being Patreon members, and we hope that you've enjoyed this. And we're going to be doing more of these at the end of every single podcast that we do. Now we're going to tag on an extra bit where we're going to probably get Luke involved as well and have a nice gay old time.
Plus lots more extra exclusive content.
Loads more, so much more that you're going to need to clear some porn off your hard drive.
And fill it with like little men
Yeah.
who were aggro
Yeah.
after a nail salon fire.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've had too much to drink.
It's going to be hotter than a nail salon fire.
Coming at you, hotter than a nail salon fire. Right, let's go home.
Next time, we will see you. Bye-bye.